Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. It's in the description below, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a lovely Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day-Date 40. This is reference 228238 in yellow gold, the boldest and most traditional of golds. The model launched at Baselworld in 2015. It replaced the previous Day-Date 2, a more graceful and technically advanced watch. Nevertheless, this is one of the most strikingly traditional iterations of the Day-Date 40, as we have a diamond set black dial, full president bracelet, and yellow gold. This has long been considered the executive's watch in the Rolex catalog, somewhere between a sports watch and a dress watch. It's what Rolex fans generally choose rather than opting for Cellini with formal attire. So the watch is 40 millimeters in diameter by 12.2 millimeters thick, 47.5 millimeters lug-to-lug, and with pivoted end links compared to solid on the Day-Date 2, we actually have a true lug-to-lug dimension. The watch is 47.5 across the wrist and 47.5 lug-to-lug. There is a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. The bracelet has long been known as the President, officially, even as the watch, due to its illustrious and occasionally infamous owner base, is nicknamed the President. Now, throwing it on my wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference, it wears far more easily than the previous Day-Date 2. The solid end links of that watch stretched about 53 millimeters across the wrist. This is much more compact because of the pivoted end link, so I can recommend it for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. Move away a little bit and show it in proportion. It's a good match for a 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and if you have a bigger wrist, it's probably going to be a better match for your wrist proportionally than the traditional 36 millimeter Day-Date. It's low, it'll easily slide underneath the cuff, and it's substantial. The President bracelet is a fascinating piece. It has a three-link design like the Oyster, but short cross-section links like the Jubilee. As a result, it has the ventilating qualities of the Jubilee. It actually vents the rest better than a sports bracelet, but it also has the structural integrity of the sports bracelet Oyster design. Polished outer faces, satin shoulders, polished down the center. On the Day-Date 40, all of the bracelets feature ceramic-coated pins inside the links. As a result, the links cannot wear down the ceramic-coated pins, so Rolex bracelet stretch, an age-old problem, has been extinguished on these models. You can see that removable links are fixed in place by screws, and you have them on both sides, many of them for fine-tuning the fit, and the famed crown clasp, whereby the only partition point between the two halves of the bracelet is that 5-point coronet. You lift it, and it's actually a lift lock system. You can see there's a beak, and then there's a hook. As a result, you can't simply pull it open. You do have to unlatch it. That adds greater security when on the wrist, and you can see the internals are all polished. Rolling back to the case, a simple, graceful, curved, and tapered lug profile. There's a little bit of a compound curve to the case band, and the lug hoods are polished, far more graceful than the so-called super cases on the Rolex sports watches. 2 dots. That means a twin lock crown in gold, screw down, 100 meters water resistant. You can see this one is exceptionally crisp with lovely faceting that is distinctive of a gold Rolex bezel. That faceting almost twinkling like surfaces of cut gems. Sapphire crystal should go without saying, but we have the Cyclops Eye magnifier. We have a day and a date with double quick set, so we have the hacking or stop seconds. And then we have a quick set system that allows you to rapidly change the date as well as the day. So it's what's known as a Rolex Day-Date double quick set. Black lacquer dial base gold printing. You see the little crown between Swiss and Made, something Rolex has rolled out across its model line since 2018. Baguette diamond hour indices. Not just that, but each one sits on a base of yellow gold. It's visually spectacular and subtle. This is an outstanding use of gems in a man's watch. Roll it all over. Underneath the solid gold case back, Rolex manufactured caliber 3255. So you have the hacking, the double quick set, the day and the date, automatic winding with bidirectional action, a rotor bearing rather than the older jeweled staff, the rotor bearing giving you greater shock tolerance, 70-hour power reserve courtesy of a larger mainspring and the Rolex Chronergy escapement system. It features, as ever, 31 joules and an 8 beat per second rate. It is shock tolerant thanks to that rotor bearing, but also a full balance bridge with a free sprung balance. And it is actually chronometer certified as a bare movement. Rolex then takes the certified movement, cases it up, and tests it in 6 positions to run no worse than +2, -2 seconds per day. And that is the basis for that term superlative chronometer on the dial. The timepiece is long-legged Accurate and anti-magnetic, as it features a handmade Breguet overcoil hairspring crafted of a blue oxidized niobium zirconium alloy called Parachrom Blue that is highly anti-magnetic. And because of that Breguet overcoil architecture to the hairspring, the watch will keep even and accurate time in any orientation with respect to gravity because of the centered mass of the overcoil hairspring profile. Finally, this generation of Day-Date gains Rolex's Paraflex shock protection system, replacing the previous KIF system. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.